Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial looking at Google Forms, how to create Google Forms, and how to use the data from that for our assessments. So to get started, you go to New, More, and we're going to select a Google Form. And you'll notice your Google Form will come up right away in the Google Drive. So a couple things, just kind of thematic things before we get started. Go ahead and give your form a title. Go ahead and let's call this example 1. And now you'll notice we have our purple background. If we want to change this, we can go to Customize Theme. We can simply select a different color to change the color. We can choose an image that Google provides for us. You can upload a photo from your computer. You can look at your albums on Google Drive. And as you see, you go ahead and scroll through and you can find one that you would like. So we'll just pick one here. And notice once you select that header image, the image here will change. And you will also see, depending on which one you select, the background will change to modify that as well. You can change your theme color, just some different background options you can do. You can change your font style depending on what you would like. If you want to change it to formal, playful, this is going to depend on the objective and your students that you have. I like the formal one. It just looks pretty nice. So once you have that done, you have your theme options and everything selected. We can go ahead and well, it depends on what you want to do. So let's just stick here. We're going to go back and look at settings. In general, if you want to collect the email responses, maybe you're on a specific school network and you want to collect those responses, you can do that. You can limit the quiz or the taking of this survey or whatever you want to use it as to one response. You can let respondents edit after they submit and see the summary and charts. Presentation, if you would like to show a progress bar, you can do that. If you would like to shuffle the question order, maybe for instance, you're giving a quiz in class and you don't want the students just to be able to look at each other's quiz and copy the answers, you can shuffle the question answer, whatever that is that you would like to do. If you want to make this a quiz, so you're going to be collecting the data from the test results or quiz results and entering them into the gradebook, you can go ahead and make it a quiz. And once you do that, you'll notice you can release grades immediately after the submission or later, depending on what you want to do. Respondents can see all these different aspects here. So go ahead and hit save. And now this will we're going to make a quiz. So we'll create this as a quiz. The next item you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add, if you would like, you can add some sort of description to the form itself, maybe the little directions, whatever it is you want to put in there. After you have done that, you will notice on the right side, we have add question. Now, once you do so, you'll see there's many different question types. You have multiple choice question, short answer question. Short answer is also really nice if, for instance, you're not going to collect email addresses, but you still want to use the quiz option. You can have students enter their last name. That way, when you open up your responses in Google Sheets, you can organize them alphabetically and then just go ahead and drop them right into your gradebook. Paragraph, many different options here. You can have students, instead of typing in a Google Doc, for instance, you can have them type in here, and now they're all collected and saved in one spot. You can go back and forth. Multiple choice, self-explanatory. Checkboxes is an option where you can go in and select all that apply, for instance, would be an option for checkboxes. Drop down, same type of thing when you have students are able to go ahead and select from drop down menu. File upload, you can upload an image here if you want to do a scale. So say, for instance, you are looking to get student opinions or attitudes about something in class, or maybe to facilitate discussion or debate, you can use a linear scale. Multiple choice grid, this is excellent as well. Checkbox grid, and you can set date and time here. So those are our questions. So let's go ahead, we're going to go back and we'll use a multiple choice. What is 1 plus 1? Go in here, 1. And we can go ahead and do that. What's nice about Google with this AI intelligence, sometimes they'll be able to go in and give you answer options, which is pretty cool and also scary at the same time. Now, once we have done that, you'll notice here at answer key, if we're making a quiz, we have to give this a point value if we so choose. So we simply select answer key. Make sure you select the correct option and then assign a point value to that. And that can be any number that you would like. Once you've done that, you can click edit question. And now you'll notice you have 1 point for this question, but also up here, you'll see in the form it says total points. So that's kind of a secondary way to make sure, okay, if I have 5 questions and they're each worth 1 point each, double check and make sure that the total points equals 5. Because sometimes you'll make a mistake and you'll go in and select the correct answer option, but you'll forget to give the question a point value, right? So go in, make sure that you can do that because that's really, really important and all those things. If you want to make the question required, you simply select this option here, and now students cannot submit the quiz or form without answering those questions. Over here, you can again just see show description. You can go to section based on answer, and you can shuffle the option order. If you would like to save time, maybe you know that you have a certain format, or especially if you're doing like a scale where you're getting student surveys and you have options 1 through 5 where it says strongly agree, strongly disagree, you can just copy the question and right down here, a second question will pop up. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to delete this question. I'm also going to delete this question just to give you some other examples here. Now, you can add a title or description. So maybe you have a specific section that you have broken up that you want students to be able to go in and discuss that or provide directions. You may do so here. That's also a really great way if you're doing like a Likert scale where you can show students or tell students what the numbers mean 1 to 1 to 5, for instance. Is really, really pretty nice. You can add an image. So for instance, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create another multiple choice question. I'm going to add my image. We'll do a search. We'll look up Ashland and just drop in a picture of Ashland. So here's my image title. And now what I can do is I can move this up. I can make this smaller. I can even justify it, or I can change it if I decide to. And I can just type a question here related to this specific image. What town is this? And you can go through here, and I'm going to give me a multiple choice again. And we can say Ashland, Mansfield, and Xenia. Don't ask me why I chose Xenia, but we'll choose Xenia. Now again, make sure you go in, answer key, Ashland, 1 point. You'll notice this changes automatically to 2. So that means that you're all registered and good to go for that specific question. Another item, you can also do the same exact thing. So maybe instead of having an image, you would like your students to watch a YouTube video. You can insert a YouTube video into here and then have questions following based upon the YouTube video. Again, I recommend if you have them watching a YouTube video, have a description that you can use so that way students are directed towards specific information you would like them to analyze when they are watching the video and after watching the video. Now, another thing that you can add in here is what's called a section. So when you add in a section, this is going to be almost essentially like a page break. So I'm going to go to untitled section. We'll just call it section 2. And I want to move my question so that it still stays in section 1. Now that I'm in section 2, I'm going to go ahead and add another question. I'm going to drag it down, and I'm going to add a question. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to add, let's do this. I'm going to add a short answer. What is your favorite color? And then instead of multiple choice, we'll make that a short answer. And now the students can just go ahead right in here and do that. And again, it's up to you for the answer key, what you would like to do. Generally on these, I'll leave the point value at 0 because Google will autocorrect it and sometimes it just becomes a nightmare. So what we can do now, we have a quiz somewhat built, we can go ahead and select preview. Now this will allow us to go in. So here's our example question. Here's our picture with another question. Now notice, because I put in a section break, it almost looks like it's two different. It's two different sections on two different pages. Here's our progress bar, and now when we hit next, here we are in section 2, and here's our next question. So it's pretty nice. Can break up your survey for you and make it a little cleaner. Simply click on the pencil and it will take you back to the original form where you can do edits. In here, if you want to undo a move, you can make a copy of this. So for instance, maybe you have a quiz that you're using in section A, and later on in third period you have the same class again. You can just make a copy and you can have just title it, quiz A and quiz B, for instance. Because what will happen is if you have it set up, all the students on that day, if you use only one Google form, all the students from that day, their data will be in one spreadsheet, and it can be kind of a challenge to, depending on how you sort it, it can be a challenge to input those grades into the grade book. You can print it out. You can add collaborators. So maybe you and another teacher are working at the same time on this, or students are creating a Google form. Maybe you have them do an activity where they are responsible for creating an assessment after a presentation or something. You can have them add collaborators, different add-ons and script editors, different add-ons for Google Forms as well. Now, once you have this all done and you're ready to go, what you can do is now you're going to actually send your survey. So send, and now you're going to notice different options pop up. You can require the collection of email addresses. If you would like, you can send this via email. Now, if you have this option, if you have include form and email not selected, it will merely send the form as a link. But if you include form and email, it'll actually put the form itself right into the email, and students can then go ahead and submit the form via email, in the email. They don't have to click on any separate links. It's pretty nice. Another option is you can go to link and you can hyperlink this into really anything that you want, your learning management system, maybe the Google Classroom, for instance. You can shorten that URL. You can do whatever you would like. You can embed the quiz, and then you can also share the form via Facebook and share the form via Twitter. So here you just simply copy your URL and then paste that into whatever it is that you would like. This concludes this portion of the Google Form tutorial. The second portion will be looking at and using the data and how to get the data and the responses from your survey or quiz or whatever it is so that you can utilize it to really enhance your teaching. So please check out part 2 of this tutorial to really get the full functionality of how you can use Google Forms in your classroom.